So this is the second week of the semester while I am actually recording this video during the first week of the semester. I'm just trying to record as soon as possible, but at the same time I would like to just give you some updated information. So it's a kind of dilemma about finding the right time to record and to upload for sharing. So basically, I will just upload videos once the videos are ready to share. So I will not really follow the exact schedule, and I will just upload in advance. So in this video, as a second part of what we are supposed to cover during the second week, I would just like to introduce Tour Dure, and some part of the information might be available, from the Tour Dure PD's introduction and explanation from the third week, the video, which I already shared. So the video from the third week is not really mandatory. I will not take the attendance, but that's kind of bilingual, so you'll be able to get ideas, both in Korean and English. And so basically, when I'm just talking about Tour Dure here, I would incorporate my experience, interacting with the Tour Dure PD and Tour Dure people, because I now experience with them to some extent. And but most of the information is actually based on its official English homepage. But I actually noticed, because of the COVID-19 situation, or because of some unexpected circumstances, because of the change of the management system of Tour Dure from the Korean Culture and Tourism Institute to which is KCTI to Korea Tourism Organization. They might be having a hard time just updating all the information on its website. So I've just noticed that its English information on its official English homepage is a bit outdated. So this year I've decided to just show you both English and Korean version, so that I can just give you some updated statistics and updated information about not only about the Tour Dure businesses, but also about its ownership, management system, the organization structure. There are not that many articles published with regards to Tour Dure, and some are based on my understanding, most are quite superficial. But fortunately, there must be more and more information in Korean available. But if you want to just refer to Tour Dure in English, I think that publication from Sustainability is a kind of one of the kind of best references to date. I've seen a few other Tour Dure, academic articles on Tour Dure, but they really didn't talk that extensively about Tour Dure. They just tested some models. So if I cite Ju et al.'s sustainability article, I would be just citing the references in the slide, so you can refer to those. You can actually easily identify from which resources I just referred to when in making this video. When I was taking the video for the last slide, my voice was gone, so I am just back the next day. If you take a look at the website of 관광 Dure, Tour Dure, you'll be able to see an updated information, including the annual report for 2019, which got released last June. So I think for the most updated information, you'll be able to refer to this. So that I just share this report on eCampus, so that you can just easily refer to this. So, or you can just go to the link on this slide for more information. So my recording today is also based on the information from here. My understanding of Tour Dure is a sort of a experiment that the Korean government has never like tried before. Actually one of the many ways to just make like community-based tourism really bottom up and sustainable. So that's probably why they just label it as a local tour lab according to its like official website. So if you take a look at this, it says Tour Dure provides up-close support for local residents to start and run tourism businesses that produce and sell accommodation, food and beverages, tour programs, experiences, leisure activities, and souvenirs that reflect local characteristics. So from here, you'll be able to see the kind of type of tour businesses. So you can try keeping in mind accommodation, food and beverages, tour programs, experiences, leisure activities, and souvenirs. According to the website, it says, their goal is to build a tourism ecosystem where tourist consumption leads to local development. So you can like get some ideas about what really they prioritize, which is sustainability and being kind of bottom up. So Tour Dure started in 2013, and they actually started with like only a handful of businesses, and now they are kind of managing more than 192 businesses. The diagram here is based on the report released last June, and according to that information, there are currently 192, and based on what I can see on the updated website, it seems these days, as of February this year, there are more than 190 businesses in like 63 regions. So here you can get a really basic idea about it's like what Tour Dure's proposition in terms of its business model, which can be opposed to the mass tourism model, which pursues the increase of tourists and just like increasing revenue itself, not really taking care of the local community. So from the information given here, you'll be able to just capture that Tour Dure pursues the support of local tourism businesses, in order to obtain sustainability of the local community. So here you can capture the basic idea about the basic mindset of Tour Dure in terms of like the supporting communities. So they say Tour Dure supports the spontaneous management of local businesses that produce and sell local resources as tourism products. Yeah, you can also see like emphasizing like networking and cooperation. And based on my understanding, that networking can be kind of multifaceted. So it is not only about the networking among the local people, but it would also be about networking among Tour Dure PDs and other entities and stakeholders. Yeah, so they are just believing those kind of networks can be the way to attain sustainability. So this is the organizational structure of Tour Dure. So basically, it is supervised by the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. And until the last year, like the beginning of the last year, Korea Culture and Tourism Institute, which is a research institute in collaboration with Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, was in charge of entire Tour Dure program, but it got kind of replaced by Korea Tourism Organization. So from the last year, Korea Tourism Organization happened to be in charge of the entire project. And also the local level, regional level administrative division, especially the tourism department of each kind of local government is supposed to help Tour Dure. So Tour Dure PDs normally are keeping very close relationship with the municipal level, like government entity, especially its tourism department. And definitely the Tour Dure PD is a key person who is in charge of connecting the local people and all stakeholders and related people with the central entity, which is mainly Korea Tourism Organization. So if you take a look at the business card of Tour Dure PDs, they are officially affiliated now with Korea Tourism Organization. Yeah, so here, Korea Tourism Organization is basically manages all the Tour Dure projects. So what they are doing, they are giving educational education services to Tour Dure PDs. So Tour Dure PDs are supposed to get some training offered by Korea Tourism Organization, and Tour Dure PDs are supposed to really keep close connection with Korea Tourism Organization for all sorts of training, advice, and networking with other Tour Dure PDs in other regions. Yeah. And KTO is the entity to evaluate, the performance of all Tour Dure programs, and KTO is also in charge of the promoting Tour Dure program in general, also in charge of kind of centralize the management of all Tour Dure businesses. While Tour Dure PDs, as I mentioned, are the really key players of entire Tour Dure program. So they are supposed to keep really close relationship with the local residents, and they should encourage local residents to excavate, to find out the potential local resources to be kind of able to develop those two Tour Dure business, Tour Dure products. And they really does quite a lot of paperwork on behalf of the local people. They are the people who are, the Tour Dure PDs are the people who are recruiting, who are inviting mentors, and they are the people who are also who get help from the local government in managing the Tour Dure program in those kind of certain region. So this is from the sustainability article from 2019, and I just would like to just point out that what Korea Culture and Tourism Institute used to do is now what Korea Tourism Organization is doing. And other than that, I think overall the roles are quite consistent. Yeah, and just keep in mind that the local government is not really directly involved, but it is kind of indirect kind of supporter of Tour Dure program. So it is recommended that the local government provides a kind of place for local Tour Dure to function, for example. Yeah. What the article is also indicating is that local government is supposed to recommend potential Tour Dure PD to be hired in a local region. So it's also quite a bit of dilemma, when you are thinking about the hiring process of Tour Dure PD, because a Tour Dure PD, in order for you to become a Tour Dure PD, you should be residing in that local area. And not all Tour Dure PDs are the kind of native of those certain places. Many just happen to move to the local region. Yeah, partly in order to apply for Tour Dure, apply to become Tour Dure PD. So yeah, so their position, as a Tour Dure PD, as kind of sort of expert, but not really as natives, might be the reason for challenges for Tour Dure PD in working with the local people, because local people might be thinking or saying that, oh, the Tour Dure PD is not the native of our region, so the Tour Dure PD actually doesn't know about what really we as native really want to do, or just local residents or even local government might be saying and thinking Tour Dure PDs really are not really the specialists in terms of knowing about their own local, the local place. But that's basically what things are going. So just keep in mind that some Tour Dure PDs are natives. They were born in the region where they are in charge of, while some other Tour Dure PDs just happen to just move to the local place for many reasons, and they just happen to become the Tour Dure PD of that particular region. So we are working with the Gwaesan-gun Tour Dure PD, and he also is not a native of Gwaesan. He just recently moved to Gwaesan before applying for to become Tour Dure PD. So you can kind of guess and get some ideas of the challenges that Tour Dure PD is also facing. Yeah, so this is also an article from Ju et al. From the Sustainability Journal, and this one emphasizes the role of Tour Dure PD in connecting local residents with the government, or here including the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, and also Korea Tourism Organization. So when you are thinking about the role of Tour Dure PD, the Tour Dure PD should establish connections and familiarity with local residents, so that the local residents can easily approach Tour Dure PDs for consultation about to get some ideas about how to establish their own Tour Dure businesses. Yeah. Many people, in some regions, many groups might just want to get support from this Tour Dure program, but not all the groups can be supported by the Tour Dure program in a certain region. Yeah, so from the PD's perspective, the selection and the identifying really which businesses to support and to identify as a potential Tour Dure participant would be a bit of a dilemma. And from the PD's perspective, actually the evaluation, their achievement would be counted, or would be based on partly based on the number of businesses that they can help with establishment, registering as company, for example. So PDs are somehow obsessed with the number of Tour Dure businesses in their local region to support and to excavate and to register officially. So that could be a bit of a dilemma. Yeah, this information is also available on the website of introducing Tour Dure, the Tour Dure program, about Tour Dure PD's regular workshop. So yeah, this summarizes a regular kind of workshop that Tour Dure PDs go through during the first and the second and third year. So from the before really initiating their work, they are being trained about what Tour Dure program is and how to collaborate with, or how to approach the local people, how to find out the potential Tour Dure business kind of items, and then second, throughout the 3 years Tour Dure program of the particular region, the Tour Dure PDs have opportunities to interact with other Tour Dure PDs, including those who are more experienced than them, and as well as those who are less experienced, so that they can kind of build network for collaboration and like mutual support. So if you see the history of how Tour Dure has been working, as I already mentioned, like it started in 2013, and that started with selecting 5 regions for the first term, and they just started with doing workshops and like selecting Tour Dure PDs and training the Tour Dure PDs, as you can see. So as you can see, as the time went by, they have been continuously selecting new regions, as you can see from what happened in March, and also they selected new PDs. And there is in March you can also see that there are kind of 2 tiers of PDs. So there are regular PDs and youth PD, who are young and kind of interns. So they had that you can see they're kind of they have, while they have kind of full-time PDs, they are also trying to provide opportunities for kind of younger like generation to be trained to become the community leaders in focusing on tourism. And based on my understanding, Tour Dure has been doing kind of many new experiments, including if you see, like, crowdfunding might be one keyword. So they have been trying to like find out the way to fund for the Tour Dure local businesses to get funded. And my impression is that they have been encouraging crowdfunding for those funding. And that can be like one of the ways to be financially sustainable after getting the support from Tour Dure program for 3 years. So can be one of the ways to be independent after 3 years of support from Tour Dure, the Tour Dure program. And they continuously have been selecting some advanced and successful cases, so that the Tour Dure participants from other regions can visit those successful places, so that they can learn from kind of each other. And Tour Dure has been providing such networking opportunities, so that the Tour Dure participants from other regions can get to know about other Tour Dure business participants in other regions. So in many aspects, Tour Dure has been emphasizing networking not only among Tour Dure PDs, but also among the mentors, and also between mentors and PDs and like the local participants. In many aspects, they have been emphasizing networking. The most updated information is only available in Korean, so and you can guess that in 2020 it was a very different year from the previous years, because of COVID-19 and because of the change of the management entity. So if you see from the kind of May, used to be, you can see that it used to be managed by the Korea Cultural and Tourism Institute, and got the management, the entity got changed to Korea Tourism Organization last May. And they didn't really report the many things other than the empowerment, training, or the education for the Tour Dure PDs. I think they had a limited list mainly because of the COVID-19 situation. So anyway, not only the number of regions, but also the number of businesses, as well as the residents got increased quite rapidly. So this is not really the updated information, but you can see basically the rapid increase. And I think the number of residents and the number of community businesses are more or less the same these days. And what you can actually figure out from here is that the number of businesses and residents who are involved in each sector. So I already mentioned that Tour Dure is like managing businesses based on their specialties, including experience, food and beverage, souvenir, travel agency, accommodation. And based on my understanding, actually, the food and beverage sector is the majority, while experience might have shrinked a bit. So food and beverage is kind of easiest to open and start. So food and beverage would be the most famous and most popular and most easily open and registered as a part of a Tour Dure program. Yeah, there are also souvenir resident like travel agency accommodation realm, which can be a part of Tour Dure. So yeah, so yes, indeed, from the report published last summer, the updated information shows that the businesses which are involved in food and beverage has a highest number in terms of the number of businesses as well as the number of people, number of participants. So used to be experience, which used to be the most popular, but now it's food and beverage, and kind of understandable considering the like kind of relative easiness to open a business. It's like easier to start a food and beverage businesses. While the accommodation, when it comes to the number of accommodation and the number of businesses in accommodation and number of businesses in the tour agency, the number is the sequence number is a bit different from the number of participants. And what you can basically see is that anyway, it is accommodations and the tour agencies are not as popular as in food and beverages and experiences. Yeah, this is a very funny map because yeah, like it indicates number of businesses and number of residents by by provinces and regions. And there is actually one, as far as I remember, yeah, as of 2019, which is located in Chungcheongbuk-do. So what I mean is that Gwaesangun is the only Tour Dure in Chungcheongbuk-do, and it's not even indicated in this map. And this year, let's see, yeah, this year there are more Tour Dure programs available in other regions. As far as I know, at least Umseong in Chungcheongbuk-do. So I think in selecting which region and which county or city or yeah regions to select, the paid KTO would be keeping in mind the kind of distribution by province. So I think there will be more and more Tour Dure participants in regions participating in Chungcheongbuk-do, because there are very few still compared with other regions. Yeah, so to confirm the number of cities and counties which participate in this program, there are based on the report from the last year, as you can see, there's only just one Gwaesan in Chungcheongbuk-do, which participate in Tour Dure these days. You can also see 전라남도 is kind of most popular, while 강원도, 경기도 are also quite much supported, 경상북도 as well. Let us just think about what Tour Dure project is done every year. So it's normally the 3-year project. So firstly, when selected for a Tour Dure project, the like the project takes place step by step over 3 years. So in the first year, Tour Dure PDs and the participating areas are selected at the same time based on the qualities of candidate and the determination of municipal level administrative division. So that means that the municipal level, the local government, should be kind of willing to support the Tour Dure program and as well as Tour Dure PD in at least in terms of providing the office. So and then Tour Dure Center and the Tour Dure PD cooperate to discover the community businesses. Here now, I think it's not Tour Dure Center. It is basically KTO, right, kind of regional branch. Yeah. And Tour Dure PDs anyway cooperate to discover the community businesses to promote the tourism businesses in their regions while offering support and writing business plans. So it is basically the local people who are supposed to write all the business plans, but I think in reality that doesn't really happen, and Tour Dure PD really does kind of most of the things especially with regards to paperwork. So in reality, I think many of the things that should be done by the residents, like resident participants, are done by Tour Dure PDs. Anyway, in the second year, they provide the community businesses with capacity building programs, mentoring programs, and pilot initiatives for their successful startup and management improvement. That means that pilot programs might be offered during the second year. Yeah, so Mohanong actually planned on offering a pilot program, but that didn't really come out last year because of COVID-19. And this year, I think many are keeping in mind offering pilot programs. But COVID-19 is the biggest factor, in whether or not they can really make it. Third year is the last year, the last year of the 3-year program. In Gwaesanggun, for Gwaesanggun, this is the third year, the last year that it can get support from the government. If they are doing well, performing well, they can actually extend the period to get support. Yeah, and basically the community businesses are supported to build a solid network with other businesses for cooperation, PR, and marketing. So we can keep in mind that to some extent, because what they might want us to do is to help with especially marketing and branding, and with regards to pilot programs. So sadly, they just wanted us to experience, visit and experience, try pilot programs that they will be offering, but because of COVID-19, we cannot really enjoy that, experiences. If COVID situation gets really better, we can try pilot at the end of the semester, at least. So we will see what will happen with regards to COVID-19. So I think COVID-19 is the biggest factor, while they are supposed to be in a kind of mature stage because this is the last year. So we will be helping with the survival after getting the support from the government. And so our role might be quite important in that sense. So we will see.